Hi everyone, and welcome to week 3. Dr. Joni here. Our week starts with our national holiday for Dr. Martin Luther King Day, and I have linked you to the activities to celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King during MLK Week 2009 at KSU. So you will find plenty of information and activities celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King Week at Kennesaw State University. Also, we begin week 3. Our topic this week is creating your GPS grad portfolio story with the focus on the reflective portfolio. I've included in this announcement our video for week 3 and the reminder that our first discussion is due for networking introductions on January 24th at 11 p.m. Once again, if you need an extension, let me know by writing me an email on our D2L. Okay, let's look at our course module for week 3. When you open up week 3, you'll see our module, discussion 1, our frequently asked questions. Please post them if you have questions about the course that you'd like to share with other people in the class, and also our grad portfolio story forum. I've posted some information from Rose Warner, who is our KSU UITS trainer, and she is one of our guest networkers that has a seminar on Wix, and I have her handout posted there for you. She's also in our guest networker ebook under creating your portfolio. Okay, so let's look at our module for this week. Module 3 for week 3 is creating your GPS grad portfolio story with the focus on the reflective portfolio. Remember, I'll always include our overview video that you're watching now. Introduction. Developing your GPS grad portfolio story is an empowering way for you to reflect on your learning, integrate your learning, and prepare to share your learning story. This module focuses on the process of reflecting your learning. We will review the process of creating a reflective private portfolio with 3 phases: reflect, assess, and collect. Module objectives. They relate to our course objectives 1 and 5, and after you complete the tasks in week 3, you'll be able to explain the GPS grad portfolio story process, identify the 3 parts of the reflective portfolio, which are reflect on learning, assess your learning, and collect evidence to support learning. Create the first phase of the reflective portfolio, which includes developing your learning story, an elevator speech, and resume. And review samples of portfolios from other seniors that have taken INTS 4498 and have given me permission to showcase their portfolios to you, their written permission, in our ebook, and discuss the resources provided by guest networkers. Module activities. This week, the estimated time to review this module resources should take 1 hour and 25 minutes. And this week, I have 4 of our INTS 4498 ebooks posted for us. The first one is the grad portfolio story process. Please review the resources listed under the Reflective Portfolio Private Portfolio tab. The second ebook is Creating a Reflective Portfolio. Just take a look and see all the different areas and resources and categories there are in the Reflective Portfolio. Then I'd like you to look at some samples. The GPS grad portfolio stories. These are portfolios created by other students that have taken this class, and they range from paper, PowerPoint, to Web 1.0, Web 2.0, all different formats, and they're arranged by format. And you'll note that I have written permission from these students to showcase their work. And then you're going to look at your guest networker book that you were introduced to in discussion 1, or you will be introduced to in discussion 1. And I'd like you to review the guest networker seminars listed under the Creating Your Portfolio tab. Okay. Now, what is due this week? Well, discussion 1 is due this week. It's networking introductions, and then also looking at the guest networkers INTS ebook and what you think of that. Remember, that first discussion is due on January 24th at 11 p.m. And if you need an extension, please let me know through D2L. Also, I'd like to step back to the ebooks for 1 second. Remember, I've arranged our INTS ebooks on LiveBinder not as chapter books, but as books that are resources, and they're by category. So they're not meant to read through as a book. They're meant as a resource for you to peruse and pick and choose and look at what you find interesting. Okay, let's look at some upcoming coursework, and I'm going to look at that briefly at the end, but next week we'll talk more about it. Coming up next week, you're going to have two coursework activities due. First, you're going to have discussion 2 on creating your GPS grad portfolio story, reflective and public. That will be due on January 31st at 11 p.m. Worth 35 points. Should take you about an hour. And then assignment 1, creating your reflective portfolio, phase 1, reflect. And that should take you about maybe 2 hours, okay? 75 points. And in that, you'll be reflecting on your learning, developing an elevator speech, and asking lots of questions about how to reflect on your learning story, which is phase 1 of creating your reflective portfolio. Remember also, all the coursework is open this semester, so if you want to get started with any of the discussions and assignments that are upcoming, you certainly can do that as well. Okay, let's go into the module summary. After completing this module, you'll be able to define the process of creating your GPS grad portfolio story with the focus of creating your reflective portfolio. Students should be able to develop their reflective portfolio, which is the first step in the portfolio process. Students will have reviewed sample student portfolios. Students will be familiar with the resources provided by the guest networkers. Module checklist. Continue to review the GPS grad portfolio process with the focus on resources listed under the Reflective Portfolio Private Portfolio tab. Read the Reflective Portfolio, live binder ebook. Just review that. And then thirdly, review the guest networker seminars listed under Creating Your Portfolio tab. Remember, discussion 1 is due on January 24th at 11 p.m. And review upcoming discussion 2 and assignment 1 that are due on January 31st at 11 p.m. What's next? Creating a reflective portfolio, assess, and reviewing formats for the best of show public portfolio. Here's discussion 1. And remember, when we do the discussions, you are just asked to do the discussion, and then it's up to you how you would like to respond to the other colleagues in the class. You can respond and write to as many people as you like, but you only are required to write the discussion itself, okay? Then let's look at discussion 2. Discussion 2 is creating your GPS grad portfolio story reflective and public. And here what I've done is divided it into 2 sections. First, I'd like you to review the links on the following information on creating your GPS grad portfolio story, reflective and public, mission, design, and format. And secondly, I'd like to review resources for designing and developing your grad portfolio story and looking at the process itself. I'll ask the question, what did you learn from reading this information? Did you get some ideas for creating your portfolio? If so, please discuss and take a look at the rubric for this. And you'll see it's worth 35 points. Next is our first assignment. This is step 1 in developing your portfolio, which is your GPS grad portfolio story. In the 6 assignments, I always have a video with the instructions and explaining the instructions and the rubric and the worksheets and everything about the particular assignment. Also, you'll be answering the following questions. What's your learning story? Designing your elevator speech, developing your personal brand, and designing and monitoring your digital professional presence. Directions, review the following resources and use the attached worksheets to answer the questions. Consult the attached assignment 1 grading rubric. And part 1, review the links on the importance of knowing your learning story, developing your elevator speech, and developing your personal brand posted on the Complete Graduate Resource, which is the website that I maintain for the resources on our class. And then after reviewing the resource, I'd like you to develop an elevator speech, which is the shorter version of your learning story. And I'd like you to, and you can include that in your reflective portfolio and public portfolio as well as you come to those assignments. And part 2, review developing and monitoring your digital professional presence and what it means to be a college graduate 2.0. If you go back to the assignment, I always also post the rubric here, and I post the worksheet both in a PDF and in a document format in Microsoft. So if you need an extension for any of these, any of this coursework, just let me know through D2L. But also remember, all the coursework is open for the semester. So if you want to work ahead, you certainly could do that. well, one day closer to graduation, and have a great learning week. Dr. Joni.